So as a reminder on how to get into isometrics, what we want to do is go down here to our snap mode. We're not going to turn snap mode on, but we're going to right click on it and go to settings. Then we're going to make sure that we have grid on, and for our assignment we're doing a Y spacing of 0.5. We're going to change from grid snap to isometric snap, and then we're going to leave the other items as they are. And say OK. And you can see immediately that the cursor has changed shape to show that we have an alignment now. And then remember that I want to turn ortho on, because if I don't have ortho on, it's not going to keep me along the planes that I'm discussing. So I'm going to go in and go back to home. And now I want to start drawing the isometric view of the same object that I just created. So I'm going to go into line, and I'm going to start off by doing the line that I know for sure the height of, which is the height of the entire object, which is 2.75. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go 2.75, and then I'm going to zoom extents because I want to see the whole thing. Okay, then it wants me to draw the other lines, and what I'm going to do is draw the section that's going to be out to my arc, because I want to show you guys how to create this arc using the ellipsis command in isometrics, because it's a little bit confusing for people sometimes. So to do that, I need to figure out what the exact length is before it turns into the circle. So I look at this drawing here and I say, okay, I know that the distance from here to the center of that circle, which is also the center of this circle, and meaning that the point of tangency there is that same radius, is 3.5. And I know that this little block section here is 2.25, so I subtract that from my 3.5, and I figure out that this section is 0.75. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go out in this direction, 0.75, enter. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom from this edge, 0.75, enter. And at this point I could close it off, but I don't want to because I'm going to create my arc. So in order to create my arc, I need to get into the ellipses command. And I need to remember to type I for isocircle if you look down at the command line, and hit enter. Now it says specify the center of the isocircle. Okay, so I need to drag down from this, and I need to make sure that I have my O-snap from midpoint on. And then I can drag down from here, and I can drag out from here, and where they meet should be where I draw the center of my object. But now what you're seeing is why you can't use those exactly in isometric. So I would have to come out from this at an angle that matches the other one. So the easiest thing for me to actually do is to escape from the command I'm in, and then offset this line down, and the distance that I want to give it is going to be half of the total height of the object, which is 2.75, so half of that would be 1.35. No, sorry, 1.375. So 1.375 and down. And it doesn't really matter whether I'm inside or outside, but I would just want to mirror this over the line to get it to work correctly. And it's still not going to mirror correctly because I have to do move instead. Yeah. Okay, so there I have my object line, and I can now use the ellipses command and center it right on this spot here. which I know is the circle of the center of the big circle. So I will tell it isocircle again, and it says where's the center. I click right here. What's the radius? So what's the radius of that really big circle there for the arc? 1.375. So, and I have created my arc section. And remember that while you're creating it, before you hit enter, once you've typed your number, you can always hit F5 to rotate through the directions of the isometric if you need to change which direction your ellipse is pointing. But in this case, we're just fine with it as is. So the next thing I'm going to do is trim, which is the same as it usually is. You can do the TR, and then you can either do the regular method or I'm going to do the shortcut, which is just the enter, enter. And I'm going to click this little section, and this little section, and then this section. Of course, because I cut off the other two sections, I need to actually erase this section. Now, what I need to do at this point is to draw a line back that shows the width of the object. So I get back into lines, I click on this corner, and obviously you'll see I can't draw in that direction, so I need to hit my F5 until I get to the point where it will let me draw in that direction because it's the isoplane for top. And I need to do it the width of that section, which is 0.75. And then I want to do the same thing on the bottom. And now all I have to do is copy the ellipse that I've already made and move it over by the same amount of distance. So I'm going to do the copy command. I'm going to select the ellipse and the two lines that are leading up to it. And I'm going to hit enter. And then it's going to say, okay, select your base point. So I'm going to click the front line and then select your the paste point, and I'm just going to click the snap on the end there. And enter. And I have now created my two arcs. So I just need to connect them here to give it that line that shows the 3D effect. And I need to put in my little circle that shows the hole. But you should all be able to manage that yourselves.